Hey there everybody, we have an unboxing to do today. Pretty decent sized box. Let's get it open, see what we got. Okay. Got some paperwork. You can see that it was from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Looks like a ton of paper in here. Oh boy. Oh, that is, wow, that's heavy. Good grief. I guess that's it. And just a bunch of packing paper. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Says Pakistan, so that's where this must be made. All right. Okay. Oof, there it is. What the heck? Sheesh. Look at that thing. I see a lot of oil in there. Seems like the last couple blades I've purchased have had so much oil and grease on them. This is just ridiculous. Look at the size of this sheath. Oh my goodness. Like, that is a monster sheath. It's got two little holes here and a flap of leather so you can put a lanyard through it and tie it to your leg. It's got really nice heavy duty bank line stitching. Has the Rough Rider logo there, a brass buckle. And man, that thing is just huge. A thick leather welt. And look at that. It unbuckles easy enough. And look at the size of this belt loop. It's about a 4-inch opening. But look how wide that is. This thing is amazing. You could put this on the saddle of a horse or something along those lines. This is just pretty cool. I'm surprised how thick and like quality this feels. It even smells pretty decent, like good leather. But let's look at this. Look at that. Cool. All right. Well, this thing's going to be greasy and messy. Okay, when you get it out of that bag, you can see there's still some more plastic on it. This thing's just smothered in oil here. It's got a tip cover on it. Nice hard plastic. Ugh, so greasy. All right, there we go. Oh boy. And look at that. Damascus steel. I'm just taking it all in. Let's see this side. Man, is that beautiful or is that beautiful? It says Rough Rider. And this side doesn't say anything on it. Okay, up here, It does say Pakistan. Where's my finger at? Right there. I think this has a little sticker on it. Yeah, it's just a sticker. That's cool. See, you can actually take that off. So you don't have to leave the Pakistan little mark on there. But this is actually in the metal. This is not a sticker there. It's got a real Stag handle, a brass D-guard, a brass spine. I don't know what to call it, a spine protector to add strength to the blade. It's Full-Tang, it goes clear through. And that's a big handle, it fits nice. Got a little room to move in there. Really smooth Stag handle. And front heavy. Wow, is this thing front heavy. And let's see. Oh, got some plastic under there still. Trying to check it out. It looks very straight. I can't complain. It's got a swedge up here on the top, like a false edge. It's got like a clip point, extra long fighting style tip. Wow. Let's see what this edge feels like. Well, the whole knife just feels like oil. It's got so much oil on it. I'm gonna have to do some measurements. I'm gonna get some of this oil off of it first, and then we'll also do a paper cutting test and see how the edge is right out of the package. Okay, here it is. I got a bunch of that oil wiped off the blade. Very nice. Okay, let's see what it looks like inside of the sheath. Okay, here it is inside of the sheath. Now, this flap goes through the D-ring right here. Come on. Go through there. And then it goes over top of it like that, and it snaps. So you can see that's not going anywhere, even as like ridiculously heavy as this knife is. It's staying in there. That's kind of neat, but what I don't care for is they got that on the side of the blade, which, I mean, if it came over here and held on this side, I think I would prefer it. Because now when you draw it, let's see if we can get it to come out, it's very snug. Even without the strap. See that blade's coming in close proximity to that retention strap. So, I mean, it is over to the side a little bit, but still, it's just I always sweat it when you got a blade that close to the strap. And it's very tight in this sheath because of this brass. That brass holds it so tight in there. And I also noticed when it's time to put it away, when you push this in, the brass hits right there. So then you got to kind of give it a squeeze, and that opens it up enough that you can now push it in without too much issue. So it's certainly not a quick draw sheath by any means. But it definitely is heavy duty and it does the job. Okay, here it is. Fresh out of the box. Let's see how sharp this blade is. Got a sheet of printer paper here. not super duper sharp, but you can cut paper with it. I think some of this texture on the sides, because you can actually feel it in the metal, I think it might be gripping the paper somewhat also. So you're looking at about a 14-inch blade, close to it. And almost 20 inches overall. Just a little under. That is freaking massive. And of course, you can see the sheath is also quite massive. Getting near 22 inches. Looking at about just a hair over 2 1/4 for the width. And this top spine, the blade itself is about 3/16, maybe it's very close to a quarter. But then if you count the brass, the blade, and the brass on the other side, yeah, you're looking at over 1/4 of an inch. It's like 3/8. Can't get my hand to quit wiggling, but right there. Yeah, that's 3/8 if you count the brass. That's pretty wide. Now, what I've heard is that the brass on the back of the spine was not only to give extra rigidity and strength to the spine, but if you were in a knife fight and someone's sword or knife come down the back, the softer brass metal might snag or slow down their blade. Not by much, but maybe just a little before it hits the guard here. So that could help you in a knife fight like that. And then the fact that the guard is curved up like that, when their knife comes down, you might be able to like twist it and kind of like get the knife out of their hand. So this thing was designed for battle, and it's got also has the D-ring, which protects your knuckles and your fingers, and you could punch with this if you needed to. And then look at that butt cap there. You could crack a skull with that if you had to. This is definitely like a serious weapon. And the handle where you actually grip it is about 4.5 inches. So, from what I have heard of this, it's supposedly high carbon Damascus steel. I'm assuming it's probably something like 1080, 1090. It's got the Stag grip handle, the brass D-guard. It's supposedly Full-Tang. I don't know if it's a rat tail that screws to this butt cap at the end, or if it's a push tang that goes the whole way. I'm not sure. It also has that brass spine. I guess I'll call it a guard. I don't know what else to call it. I'm sure it actually does have a name. Comes with this super heavy-duty sheath. And the overall weight, I'm not certain. This thing's got to be several pounds. It's quite heavy. It has a old-fashioned Bowie style clip point blade designed for fighting. It's got a choil right here, so if for whatever reason you needed to get up in there to maybe do some fine carving right here at the back, you could do it. Let's see, this thing isn't really designed for going out and like butchering logs or something like that, although what knife is. I'm not certain how strong this tang is. I think as a fighting knife it would probably do pretty well, but I don't know if I'd be using it for a whole lot of bushcraft, although it feels super solid. Like, this thing feels like it ain't going nowhere, and it's extremely heavy. It's got like almost a needle sharp tip on it. It has Really looks good. Try to get some natural light on it from the window so you can see what that Damascus texture looks like. Now, I don't know if this is real Damascus steel at all, or if it's just some kind of acid etching that they do to give it that look of Damascus steel. I would hazard a guess that it's probably just an acid etching done on high carbon steel. But I really like high carbon steel. Pretty decent steels. I've never had too much issues with them. If you wanted to get this razor sharp, you could do it. And try to let you see this hand guard a little better. It's almost like white and orangish brown going into gold. And then it's got some kind of like a stag horn, like Antler would have. It's got kind of like black, dark gray in the grooves there. It's just really nice. That's a big, intimidating blade there. But this is the Rough Rider. I think it's just called the Old West Bowie. Not certain exactly what the name is, but here's the code again. If you wanted to pick one up. Yeah, I think it's the 1942 Bowie. That's what it was called. Old school stuff here. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Joe Doomsday signing out.